The announcement that Jerusalem is the capital of Israel, recognized by the United States of America, comes 8 months after the announcement by Putin that he recognizes that Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. That announcement got no recognition. None of the Arabs were upset about it. But when America says it, they get upset because right now, the only one that really counts internationally, despite Putin's desire to be a major player, the only one that really counts ultimately in the world stage today is the United States. China will be a superpower soon. It's a superpower militarily. It's getting there economically, but it's not there yet. The true superpower of the world, militarily, economically, is the United States of America. So why am I not jumping with joy? Because Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. It doesn't need recognition by the United States. God Almighty has recognized. Ho eshev ki ivisiha. This is where I will dwell, for I have desired it. This is the city of David. This is the ultimate resting place for the Holy Temple. The Temple Mount will have the restoration of the temple on it speedily in our days. You see what's going to happen to the Al-Aqsa Mosque? It will be removed and placed elsewhere. Who's going to do it? God will do it. Or the Messiah will do it. At that time, it will be apparent that this is what the desire of God is, and this is what is right for the world. It is only right for the world to recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. Unfortunately, the United Nations does not wish so, because accepting Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, accepting the return of the Jews to Israel, is not just a secular statement, it's a religious statement. It is a statement whereby the nations of the world historically change their tune and accept that God has restored Israel to its holy land and will continue to do so. The most important factor, the linchpin, the essence, the most coveted real estate on earth is the Temple Mount. And people will say, oh, it's a holy shrine for all three major religions. What does it have to do with Japan and China and the people in Micronesia and Africa? Because they know there's a Bible. And if the Bible is true, then the land of Israel is the holy land, and it is blessed by God and belongs to the Jews. But they don't want that to be true. So these votes are expressions of what they want, and the vote against Israel being in control of Jerusalem expresses their fears, their greatest fears, that perhaps God Almighty has chosen the Jewish people for the Holy Land, and the holy city is theirs, and that this is actually true. And if that's true, then the standards of the Bible are also true, and they have to measure up to those standards. And no nation on earth, not yet anyway, except perhaps the United States, wishes to accept the universal standards that God Almighty has presented to the world. And that's the reason for the opposition. The opposition against recognizing Jerusalem is in opposition to the Bible and to the Bible's God. And so let's see, as the Torah says, whose will win? Will it be the will of mankind or the will of God? Will God allow mankind to diffuse, to deter, to prevent the actualization of God's holy will? We'll see. But in the meantime, this has happened on Yud Tes Kislev, the day of liberation of the founder of Chabad Hasidus, the day of liberation of the essence of the Torah. And on this day, the place of the holiness, which is the manifestation point, where this holiness of the essence of the Torah will be revealed, and is revealed constantly, that has also been released. And this will usher in a greater level of holiness, a greater level of piety, a greater level of enthusiasm, a greater level of ethics, a greater level of people getting along, a greater level of peace, despite what the Arabs say. There was a few riots today in Jerusalem and Hebron, very, very little, several dozen people, not a whole lot. You know why? I'll tell you why. Because at the core, the Arabs truly believe that Jerusalem belongs to the Jews.